Lastly, I wanted to talk about a book review for the Silver Nut contest that he's having. Now, I was trying to gather my thoughts, and in the original contest, he wanted to talk about motivation and inspiring books, but I don't really read very inspirational books. I kind of have my own inspiration or motivation from different life events that kind of encouraged me to read the books that I did. And in particular, in 2011, there was a flood in Thailand that flooded more than half the country, and several people, several thousands, tens of thousands of people in and cities, several cities were flooded, upwards of up to 6 feet high. Homes were covered. It was a lot of panic. And during that time, I was traveling there and visiting. And at the time, I had recently got out of a relationship and had a lot of negative energy. During and when I was there, seeing all the chaos that was happening from everyone's home practically being underwater, I ended up volunteering and helping. I helped dig up sandbags, helped pack food, carry rice, and used a lot of that negative energy. And as a result, several families and several people ended up thanking me for helping them during their struggle during the flood. And that left a lasting impression on me. It's nothing like the natural disaster that kind of brings out the worst and the best in people. And when that happens, I do have to ask, how prepared are you for a disaster? Because when the flood did come, there was a run-up of people hoarding food and water. And if you went out and looked for food and water, you couldn't actually find it, which was very, very surprising and unrealistic. It was very surreal to kind of run through a major city like Bangkok and not be able to find drinking water and food to eat. So, that being said, it left a lasting impression for these kinds of disasters. There was the tsunami in East Asia. You look at what happened in Paris, Katrina, all sorts of chaos, all sorts of disasters, all these mass shootings. And then, I came back home and thought to myself, what could I do to kind of be prepared and help people in case they needed help, and along as help myself. And so I signed up for a class at UCLA and took the EMT course for fun. It has nothing to do with my career. I just decided, it would be good to know how to do practical first aid and typical first responder type things. I actually didn't get my EMT in order to protect myself legally, so that I'm protected under Good Samaritan laws, though I do have the training of an EMT, and did everything up until the final ride-alongs in order to get my EMT card and register. Aside from that, I did read this entire book, 1,500 pages, and practice all the drills in class along with the workbook. Now, some of you might ask, why? Why emergency? And generally, the people that need help during any type of event is the elderly and children. And being able to help the sick or the injured is a very valuable skill. Being able to treat multiple types of sickness and also just kind of help out any first responders before they arrive. Since in the case of any disaster, typically first responders are somewhat slow than the people already on the ground. And for me, I wanted to be one of those people that could react instantly. if there was an issue, I would be able to kind of go in and help. If there was a broken arm, if there was blunt force trauma or bleeding, heavy bleeding of sorts, I wanted to be able to be prepared and help where I could. So I took this class, 120 hours in class, outside, during my job, with a full-time job and night school. I ended up missing the final part, mainly because I was signing for a place. But yeah, this is the book. It's very comprehensive. It's a good reference to have in case any emergency happens. It covers the gamut, and since I've already read through it once, in case I ever need it, I kind of know where things are, or at least as a reference for any type of emergency that happens nearby. So, I know this is a long one. This is not my typical video, but I do want to say that, being prepared with silver and gold is all nice and dandy, but when shit really hits the fan, or there's this financial collapse, there's really no way you're going to pay for anything with gold or silver in the beginning. In the beginning, your skills are what's going to be most important. And I've actually had training in several different areas, from martial arts to weapons to, of course, healing. Everything is in balance, so just in case anything does happen, you're as prepared as can be. You got to get these nice little gadgets that you can use in the event of any type of emergency, because realistically it takes several days to several weeks for any form of chaos to finally bring order back to it. Really, these coins you can only sell during the interim, but when actual chaos happens, these really don't mean a thing. They're heavy, they're bulky. Maybe gold would be good, but honestly, if you're looking to help people, you don't really need those kinds of things. You need skills. You need practical skills, and reading these kinds of books helps me with these practical skills. It doesn't help me with motivation or inspiration, but I do hope that if you can take some of the time to go to your local high schools and take some basic first aid training. CPR, AED training, all very useful in the event of emergency. You can save a loved one, you can save a family member, a friend, whoever. These kinds of things never get old. These kinds of skills never get old. It's always good to practice a refresher from time to time. And yeah, that's my report on a book. It's not really about the book, but more or less why I read this book, why I went through everything in this book, and how it pertains to helping others as much as possible, and those around me in the future. Thanks for watching. Hope you can comment, like, and subscribe.